Hi there, folks on my phone. Didn't see you there. You're probably wondering why I'm not on camera. Well, that has to do with the topic of today's video on TransJoy, which was suggested to me by a friend. If you have any topics you want to see me cover yourself, do drop us a wee comment or send us a message. Anyway, in our previous video, I said that the name change was the first part of transition and TransJoy for a lot of people, but for a lot of us, gaming can offer TransJoy before you even know you're trans and even lead to some of these egg-cracking moments, which is having that eureka moment of realizing who you really are. Again, no one's lived experience is the same, and there is no one way to transition. I'll be doing this video as a two-parter of sorts, with this part more focused on video games, and a part two more on the other types of gaming, such as D&D and other tabletop RPGs. For me personally, gaming was definitely a part of my own egg cracking. In games of character creation, I'd always end up choosing to play as women, with very rare exceptions, and then say stuff like, well, I just prefer Jen Hale for something like Mass Effect, choosing FemShep over the male shepherd. Or, of course, I'd end up telling others that it was just easier to play as a girl, or that she just looked nice. Saints Row the Third and Saints Row 4 do have filters for making your gazungas bigger, after all. This all led to a pipeline that started with video games, moved on to tabletop role-playing games like Dungeons and Dragons, and then finally a LARP, which is live-action role-playing. But I do want to discuss that further in part two. It's kind of a wild story, to be honest. So, video games can do a few different things for TransJoy that I've noticed myself and that others have shared with me. First, it's a safe way to express yourself. There are so many of us who are just not in a safe position to be ourselves and express ourselves to the fullest at all, or maybe just lack the confidence or support needed to take that extra step. And so we find other ways of doing it, and gaming, especially for people of my generation, is a big one. It's also a chance to experiment with styles in a safe environment too, making a digital avatar who looks like you and just playing around. Something like The Sims is pretty big for this. And let's be honest, folks, with being trans being a pretty damn scary thing because of how the world perceives us and treats us, gaming can also serve as a bit of an escapist power fantasy. Yes, video games serve as this power fantasy for a lot of people, but if you're in a targeted minority, I think there's definitely something to be said for being able to just properly live that out. Doing things you wouldn't ever be able to do in real life, like trawl through a post apocalyptic wasteland, bringing down a mega corporation, getting superpowers, or in my case, actually being able to have and maintain romantic relationships. There's also an aspect of community within gaming. I'm not big into it myself, but a lot of trans people I know would use the likes of VR chat to connect with others across the world, especially other trans people. And this took off during mostly the pandemic, but it's still going to this day. It's especially important if you're living somewhere remote or unsafe. Gaming does have a reputation for being toxic as hell, and yeah, it's warranted sometimes. I do remember those old Call of Duty lobbies, for instance. But there are some nice communities too. For instance, there's quite a large community of trans people within the Fallout community. Where there is this kind of meme or reputation for us worshipping Fallout New Vegas, and yeah, there is some truth to that. So, gaming through TransJoy, or rather TransJoy through gaming, is exploration in a safe way. It does provide a form of escapist power fantasy for when the world is just a little bit too much, and there is a community aspect too. That about sums it up, at least in my view. But in another way too, single player games with a story tend to have an ending. Even the open world stuff, you eventually get to a point where that's it. You beat the game. There's a degree of finality. You beat the big boss, save the world, fall in love, and you get to go home. In a world that continues to be uncertain and scary, and more oftentimes than not, shit, that's kind of freeing. This digital version of you getting a good ending that they fought so hard for. So just remember, folks, you are amazing, you are loved, you are beautiful, and you are so much stronger than you think you are. Trust me. Bye!